What's going on, guys? Welcome back. My name is Brandon and I recently featured a plasma cutter on this channel. It's an inverter based 120 240 volt machine. I was so impressed when I did that review of this machine on 120 volt. It actually put out 37 amps and it was cutting 5/16 plate with ease, that now I want to do a follow-up to that video. I want to put it on 240 volts and I want to push this thing to its max and see just what we can get out of it. This is like a $180 plasma cutter. This thing is incredible. Stick around. This is the machine I'm referring to, guys. A fan of the channel that wants to remain anonymous donated this to the channel. I'm paying it forward, and I'm going to give it to one lucky subscriber on February 10th. This incredible machine, guys, put out 37 amps at 120 volts and cut through this 5/16 plate with ease. Look at this. I was blown away. So today I want to put this thing on 240 and see exactly what it'll do. If you want to check out that video, I'll have a link up above. There's all kinds of information in it. Most dual voltage welders and plasma cutters come with a welder plug on the end of them. And the way it works, you just take it, if you want to run it on 240, you plug it into a 240 volt receptacle. If you want the machine to run on 120, you plug it into one of these adapters, and then you plug the end of that adapter into a 120 volt power source. And then that makes the machine run on 120. It does all its sensing and its voltage switching inside the machine. You don't have to do anything. Just use the adapter or not. Depends on if you want to be on 120 or 240. I've had a couple machines on the channel recently that are coming through with this type of plug on the end. Just a standard 120 volt receptacle. The problem with that is that the adapter that you need has this on one side to accept that plug. Then the other side of that plugs into 240 volts. So if this is my 240 volt power source and I'm plugged into that, now I've got 240 volts on the end of this, and then I plug my plasma cutter into that. If I'm getting my 240 volts this way, there's nothing preventing me from plugging in my grinder into this, my vacuum cleaner, or any other tool, and it's going to accidentally put 240 volts on this. That could be catastrophic and that could be a huge problem. Now, I am super appreciative to the viewer that supplied this to the channel and gave it to the channel. I don't want to take away from any of that. This is not about that. What this is about is the manufacturers need to put the correct end on these machines. This machine needs to have a 240 volt end on it. And the reason for that is that's going to prevent somebody from getting hurt. However, I am not going to be the one to put that end on it. This manufacturer put this end on this machine. It's their machine. And it's their liability if anything were to ever happen to this. Just know that there is a potential for a problem if you use the adapter that would be needed to run this machine. And this machine did not come with that adapter, and I'm assuming it's because it wants to limit their risk of the manufacturer. However, I want to run this on 240, so I am going to make an adapter plug for this machine. We're going to plug this in and we're going to run it on 240. And we're going to see exactly what this can do. However, for the winner that gets this machine in February, I am not going to give you the adapter that we're going to make. And I'm going to strongly encourage you to not make the adapter either. What I would recommend that you do, because I'm not an electrician, is that you have an electrician cut the end off this cable right here and have an electrician put a male welder plug on the end of it. That way you'll have exactly what you need. Then you can use any old standard 120, 240 volt adapter that comes with every machine that is generally made that's inverter based. Now this is all in the name of science, guys, because I need this cord to do this adapter. This is not a tutorial on how to put a cord cap on a cord or any other thing, okay? This isn't hate on Brandon Day, because I may not be doing it the way you think I should be doing it. I'm just showing you what I'm doing to make this adapter so that we can make this work somewhat safely. So while I'm fiddling with this, we might as well have a conversation. So like I said, I was super impressed with this welder, and again, I disclosed in the last episode that the person who donated this welder to this channel, this was right before Christmas, okay? And his friend had passed away, and he had planned on buying his friend a gift. Well, his friend didn't make it to Christmas, so this individual, the supporter of the channel, fan of the channel, reached out to me in an email, and he said that he would like to take the gift, the money that he would have spent on his friend, and he wanted to buy something that I could put on the channel and pay it forward. And I thought that that was a great idea. I've been really enjoying doing this on the channel. He ordered a plasma cutter, this one, off Amazon. I gave him my address and he sent it right to me, and here we are. I am going to be giving this away to one lucky subscriber in February. And just to back up a little bit more, and I don't want to get too sappy because I did disclose this in last week's episode. My mom was diagnosed, actually my mom was diagnosed with cancer in 2018. She had oral cancer back in here, and they did 32 treatments of radiation. She went in remission for a little while, then COVID came. She missed 2 oncology appointments, and by the time she got around to getting her appointment, the cancer had returned. We were making numerous trips to Boston. This is probably a year and a half ago, and we were going back and forth. She had a surgery down there. She went close to a year cancer-free, and then the cancer returned about 9 months ago. So after that, my mom said she's done. She's not doing any more treatments. She's not doing any more radiation. They wanted to do what's called an immunotherapy, and basically that would be her getting a treatment every day. It's a bunch of different drugs that they inject into you. It has a pretty good success rate, but she said she was done with it, and I supported that decision of hers. So the doctors had given her a year to live. So for the last year, my mom has been at her home. She lives really close to me, probably 5 minutes away. And I have been taking care of my mom. I'm her only son, her only real family. My dad died 11 years ago of cancer. I have no brothers and I have no sisters. I have a daughter that lives close by. She was helping me, and I have a wife, and my wife helps me occasionally. My mom was on lots of medication, lots of narcotics. She lost a huge part of her jaw. It was all open. She lost the ability to speak. Part of her tongue was missing. She was in pretty rough shape. She started losing her vision because her optic nerve was getting affected from the cancer. So it was pretty rough. Hospice called about a week prior and said that she didn't have long to live. So for the last 9 months, you guys have seen that I haven't been too regular on the channel. And, I had a couple people that, I'll be honest with you, kind of irritated me. They said that they came to my channel because they want to see build videos. And basically, if I don't get my act together, they're going to unsubscribe. I didn't hastily respond, although I wanted to. That's what I've been doing. Take care of my family. Because at the end of the day, guys, that's what all you got left is your family. But back to these giveaways. So build videos take a real long time, guys. Like when I build all this stuff that I build, like this rack that you see behind me and all my other things, this fixture table, all these other things, it takes a real long time for me to do these videos. It takes a long time to build, and it takes a long time to film. The giveaway kind of was like my idea, because it kind of took my mind off things, kind of like when you're making other people feel good, it kind of makes you feel good. Nobody ever feels sad giving someone a gift. It usually makes them feel good, especially if the person receiving it really likes it. It's kind of a little bit of a boost. So I was kind of accomplishing 2 things. I was kind of making myself feel better by doing these giveaways. I was making other people feel better, and it was actually freeing me up in the shop because I'm not doing these really long, in-depth build videos. I was able to do the giveaways. They go a lot quicker, and it takes a lot less time to film, so I could spend more time with my mom. So that's kind of why I've been irregular on the channel and I haven't been around. But I just kind of wanted to put that out there. And I will tell you guys, I don't know if you guys believe or what you believe or what you don't, but my mom was a very spiritual person. And when she passed away, there was no doubting that she went to a better place. I've been real calm that day. There wasn't any wind or any other thing, and I had a door open near her bed because somebody said that, make sure you leave a door open because it's an old wives' tale. If it gets their spirit out quicker. I never heard it. My wife told me, said, if someone passes away, open a door or a window because their spirit can get out quicker. Well, I had the door open to right next to her bed and led off to like a balcony, and I opened the door and She took her last breath as I was holding her hand. And within like 15 seconds, the wind chimes that she had hanging outside her door started going crazy. This door had been open for 4 days. We had no wind, no movement, nothing. Dead calm outside. As soon as she passed, it's as though somebody took those chimes and just started swinging them back and forth. And it lasted for like 15 seconds. Probably the most beautiful thing I had ever experienced. So whether you believe or whether you don't, I can tell you, for me, I believe it. And then on the ride home, I said a prayer out loud. And as I said the prayer out loud, I looked ahead probably about 2 miles in the distance. And it looked like a asteroid came down right on the top of my house. And I just got done asking my mom to watch over me. So I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, guys, but I just want you to know that I'm sure there's many of you out there that are dealing with something, or you know somebody that's dealing with something. All I say is have faith, hang in there, because I feel that there is definitely something more beyond this world. And I know that my mom is for sure at a better place and no longer in pain. I mentioned earlier, my mom was a really spiritual person. I wasn't. I grew up when I was younger and I had to go to church, and I hated it. My parents kind of made me, but as I got older, I stopped going. But when my mom started getting sick, she wasn't able to go to church anymore. So she'd gone to the same church since she was a little girl, since she was like 3 years old. So I started bringing her back to this church because she could no longer drive. And I felt kind of odd at first because I would actually wait out into the parking lot. So I'd drop her off at the church, and I just felt weird. It felt like kind of like almost like you're coming over to someone's house and sitting down at their table without an invite. That's what it felt like to me. And then one day she said, "Hey, Brandon, do you want to come in and sit down with me? I'd really like it." So I went in and sit down. It's a real small church, real small knit group. And I sat down, and probably after like 3 visits, listening to the preacher talk and stuff, I felt like she was talking to me. Like she was saying stuff to me that affected my life, like on a personal basis. So it actually got my attention. And I started looking forward to it. I started looking forward to going, wanting to go. And then in August of this year, my mom and I were baptized together, so which was kind of cool. We actually went into a lake and we were baptized. I've shared that with some people. Not a lot of people know this, but I don't know. It's an uplifting story, so that's why I wanted to share it. I consider myself a pretty grounded, down-to-earth person. I'm not what some people would consider, I don't know, you hear the term like Jesus freak or something like that. I grew up in a pretty normal environment around construction workers and everything else that did everything under the sun and swearing, and I was one of those people at one time. But I just wanted to share that story with you because for me, I'm a firm believer, and I think that we're all here for a purpose, and we have a purpose in this world. You know, I probably never would have made the time to go to church just because I have so much going on. So I think maybe my mom's sickness brought that in for me, got me involved in the church, and then it kind of got me involved into seeing for me that there's just more than being here. Okay, so enough of that. So I've got our cord adapter built. Now let me explain to you why I think this is so dangerous. So watch what's going to happen now, okay? So this isn't, hopefully it doesn't electrocute me. So this is a live 240 volt receptacle. I'm going to plug this in. I could plug in a grinder, I could plug in my vacuum cleaner, I could plug in my electric toothbrush, I could plug in anything I wanted into this, and 240 volts is going to come out of it. That's what's dangerous. Can you see that, guys? Watch this. I'm going to plug this into here, this into here. Look at that. 244.9 volts. That's on this 120 volt, 15 amp receptacle. So yeah, I hope I didn't get too deep on that, guys, and bore you. Just hopefully you fast forwarded ahead if you didn't want to hear it. It's all mumbo jumbo to you. I know that not everybody has the same beliefs, and maybe I'll lose subscribers for my belief system. I don't know, whatever. I don't care. It's what I believe and it's what I know, and I'm comfortable with it. So it is what it is, guys, you know. So occasionally you'll see me wish you, God bless or this, that, and the other, and it's because I mean it, God bless. We can say it. It's okay. All right, so let's plug in the adapter. Okay, now I got a clamp on amp meter. We're going to test this out. Now, just to get you up to speed, guys, last week when I turned this on, it's a 55 amp machine. When I maxed this out on 120 volts, it went all the way to 55 amps on the display. However, on the instrument, maxed out, it only puts out 37 amps on 120 volts. So what they should have done, there's a couple things they should have done. They should have made this, when you pin it on 120 volts, that the display only reads 37 amps. Because if that's all it's putting out, there's no point in having it say 55 when it's not. So today, we're going to put it on 240 volts. We'll pin it, and we'll read just how many amps it's putting out on 240 volts. So again, 120 volts, this maxes out at 37 amps, and it easily cuts 5/16 plate. That's the cut I showed you in the very beginning. Right there. Super clean. I mean, not a problem. Okay, here we go. Hopefully it doesn't let the smoke out. If this blows up, guys, if it doesn't kill me from blowing up, and I do blow this machine up from pushing it too hard, I'll just buy a new one. I'll buy a new one and I'll give it back to the channel. So don't think that if I blow this up, you're not going to get it. The giveaway will still be on. I'll just be out a couple $100 because I'll buy it. Okay, here we go. Oh, I'm nervous about this. Here we go. Ready? There it goes. And I didn't get a shock touching the case. Okay, so it still reads 55 amp maxed out. It goes down to 0. Okay, let me get my air hooked up and get all my other stuff on, get some gear on, get things hooked up, and we'll see what it does. One of my other viewers to the other video called this piece right here a suicide adapter. So that's pretty much what it is. But yeah, that's why I'm not going to ship that with this machine. Just too dangerous, guys. All right, so let's. This is what we got. So I've got my 5/16 workpiece, and I've got my working lead or earth or ground, whatever you want to call it. We'll turn this on up to amperage. Now you can see we're at AC amps. We want to be DC amps, and there we go. Now if you want to know about setting up a plasma cutter, go watch that other video, because in that I talk about how to set your amperage and how to set your air pressure and the reason why you need to set those correctly to the thickness material. Go check that one out. It's got a lot more information in it than this one has, and I'm not talking about probably nonsense that I'm talking about in this one. Alright, hopefully you can see that gauge right there. We're at 55 amps on the plasma cutter and about 50 psi of air. Here we go. That easily cut that, guys. Not a problem. Super clean. Look at that. Let's see what we were seeing. We weren't seeing 55 amps, so were we? What was it? I'll have to look again. Alright, here we go, guys. Alright, guys, let's step it up a little bit thicker. That was 5/16 that we just did. Let's do some 1/2 inch. There you go, 502 thousandths. This drag tip is getting pretty roached. Look at the end of it. You can see it's pretty well spent, but we'll give it a try. And I don't want to go change it out because I don't want to go using up, whoever wins this thing, I don't want to go using up all their consumables. I'm going to make this cut. I'm going to zoom you in on the meter so you can see that it's still, it should be drawing the same thing. What did we say, 43, 44? I'll zoom you in on the meter and then I'll show you the cut that it did on the metal after. Alright guys, here we go. Guys, I can't believe this. As you know, this is not a sponsored video. I get nothing. I could care less if this machine performed great or if it didn't. I am totally blown away. I've used machines costing much more than this that didn't perform nearly as well, and this thing performs pretty impressive, especially for the cost. That's just dross, that'll knock right off, but that's the cut that it made right there. Look at that. I am impressed. I'll tell you what, this is going to make someone an awesome gift, and I am just so proud for the viewer that donated this to the channel. That's what this is all about, paying it forward, just being a good person in general, and I'm just so thankful that I have such an awesome audience that we have here. I've said it before in the comment section, never out loud. I think we probably have the best audience on the web as far as it goes, as far as like a really, just a good, kind, respectful community. I love being part of it. I'm thrilled that this is my channel, and I just love that everybody is just so engaged, and everybody for the most part is pretty supportive and respectful for one another. Thank you very much to the person again that donated this. This is an incredible machine. For someone looking to go out and buy this, obviously I haven't owned this, so I don't really know what this is going to be like in a year or 2 or 3 or 6 months or 3 months. I don't know. But I can say everything I've done up to date has really been impressive. This thing packs a huge punch. I think this is like 179 bucks, I'm not sure. On 120 volts, it's easily cutting 5/16 at 37 amps. It looks like, I think, 43, 44 amps it's putting out on 240 volts, even though the display is showing 55. And it easily cut through that ½ inch. I don't know what more you could want or what you could ask for a machine that's doing that. Just really impressed so far. So that's all there is to it. Till next week, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. There's new videos every Friday, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next week, guys, I'll see you then. Take care, stay safe, see ya, God bless. Oh, and if you want to be entered on the giveaway for this for February 10th, I forgot all about it. Be sure to go watch that other video. It doesn't happen in this one. You can like, comment, and subscribe in this video, but the comments don't get entered as part of the giveaway. You got to go do that in the other video. So click the link in the other video down below, up above, and then you guys can get involved in that, and you can be entered to be part of it. And if you don't win this one, there's going to be plenty more, guys. There's going to be all kinds of giveaways on this channel, so don't worry about it. I'm going to be like the Mr. Beast of welder giveaways. See you guys.